Public speaking tip: how to turn boring into brilliant. It doesn't matter what your content or subject is, when presented well, it can be interesting, educational, and emotionally engaging. After delivering my keynote at a construction industry conference, I led a breakout session where I coached willing participants on their presentations. I made my point. There are no boring subjects, only boring speakers. A gentleman in the third row raised his hand and said, "Miss Fripp, my subject is boring." I was up to the challenge and asked, "What's your subject?" He replied, "I teach OSHA rules and regulations for 6 hours." I invited him to the front of the room and asked, "Tell me one rule." He responded, "You have to wear your safety goggles." My next question: please tell me about a time when somebody didn't wear their safety goggles. Let's imagine the story from his wife's point of view. This is how I suggested he begin his presentation. Imagine you're a 22-year-old wife and mother of two. One morning, you kiss your 24-year-old husband goodbye as he leaves for his job on a construction site. As he is drilling through concrete to install a new pipe, a chunk of concrete flies out and hits him in the eye. And he wasn't wearing his safety goggles. He ends up in the hospital, and a few days later, you bring him home, you nurse him back to health, and now, with only one good eye, he goes back to the same job at the same site. How do you feel knowing he most likely will no longer wear goggles? With that, he had the audience's attention. He could then transition into welcome to OSHA rules and regulations. For the next 5.5 hours, we'll cover 136 rules and regulations. You know them. You've told them. Today, we will reinforce why it's crucial to stay vigilant and ensure that your crew follows the guidelines every day. The audience gasped and went wild. If your message must be memorable, I can help. Let's talk.